Good morning and Happy New Year. Thanks for spending part of your holiday weekend with me here on Weekends with Whitney. Coming up on this morning show, meet a guy who's shucking awesome. One of the youngest oyster shucking champs anywhere. And he's right here in Baton Rouge. He shares his secrets to shucking the perfect oyster. And if you're looking for a good read in the new year, we'll take you to a local treasure as rare as some of the books here. Then things get juicy. We get into the squeeze of things for a healthy new year. And Dr. Nick on the art of conversation and communication in the new year. Then we kick off your new year with a bang. But first, meet one of the world's youngest oyster shucking champions who proves the world really is his oyster. Harvesting oysters is hard work, but you can't do anything with them until you crack open that thick, hard, crusty shell. This is how you shuck them like a champ. At just 19 years old, Bailey Mount is a natural. Bailey's only been shucking about 18 months. He got his first crack at it working a summer job in his home state of Maryland, out of necessity.
I didn't know what I was doing, really. Someone else had to teach me. I was bussing tables and all that beforehand, but one of the other shuckers left for the summer, left for the season, so I stepped in and took his place. 6
months later, he moved to South Louisiana, where seafood reigns supreme and oysters are king.
Baton Rouge is pretty fun. Louisiana is wild, it's crazy.
6 months after that, he was competing in the New Orleans Oyster Festival's shucking contest. He won, shucking 18 oysters in 2 minutes. What made you say I'm going to enter a competition? How did you know you were good enough?
I didn't. My managers at Joey Pearl just told me I was a fast shucker, and they're like, we want to get you down for New Orleans and do the contest there, just kind of see how it goes. They didn't know how I'd compare to the guys who've been doing it 10, 20, 30 years, but
the youth is on your side.
I came up on top, I guess.
6 months after that, he also won the shucking competition at the Gulf Shores Oyster Cook-Off. There, with 24 oysters in front of you, you're judged on speed and much more.
I'll judge your oysters just by how they look, if they're clean, if they're cut nicely, you know, all kept together.
I had to taste his work for myself. All right. Just do it.
Yeah, knock
bottoms
it back.
up.
Tasty. Yeah.
Perfect. When the owners of Baton Rouge's newest restaurant, Shucks, opened a few weeks ago, they shelled out the money to hire him. What's the secret to shucking a good oyster?
Like a lot of things, just find a sweet spot and a good rhythm and just keep going, find a good pace, and I don't know, not think about it too much, but still take your time and know what you're doing.
He's also spot on at tossing a bad bivalve. Is it a smell or a look or a texture thing for you?
I mean, sometimes I'll pop one open and it'll look all right, but then I'll just get a whiff of it and it's bad and I'll toss it out. But a lot of times you can get a dead ones here and there, and you just got to toss them.
He's so shucking good, some nights he'll shuck 1,000 oysters. And he has quite a growing pearl collection too. Some big and beautiful, and some look more like pebbles.
The other good ones, either I give them out to people who work here, I take them home, my little personal stash.
Shuck chef Joey Fashon says the purists want their oysters raw, but for everyone else, they grill oysters more than a half dozen delicious ways.
We have this our Shuckafeller, our traditional dozen, our roughneck, our Rockefeller, the Supreme, and also the Candy. Supreme is one of our favorites here because it has all the beautiful Gulf seafood on it. You get a little shrimp, a little crab meat, a little oyster.
Joey says one of their secrets to a perfect grilled oyster is a hot grill and motion.
And they'll move them around to make sure they're not getting too hot, we're not getting too much burning, we're not getting charring, anything like that.
But shucks, it's not just all about the oyster here. There's a sassy shrimp, redfish on the half shell, po' boys, and more. But like Bailey, they're famous for their oysters.
It's all right. I know a few people will notice me, recognize who I am. It's like, you're that guy. And I'm like, I am that guy. Yeah.
The world really is his oyster. If you'd like to see and taste it all for yourself, Shucks is located right off Highland Road near the I-10 exit. They're open every day from 11 a.m. until 10 p.m. except on Friday and Saturday nights. They're open until 11 to satisfy any hunger you might have, oysters or otherwise. And still to come on Weekends with Whitney. Looking for a good read in the new year? We'll take you to the perfect place. And then we get juicy with the big squeezy for a healthier new year. And Dr. Nick on the art of conversation as Weekends with Whitney continues.
Maggio, the only way to go. Maggio Buick GMC, your satisfaction's our specialty. We really deliver on Falls River, here in New Roads. Small town atmosphere, legendary service for over 60 years. Maggio, the only way to go. The only way to go, that's Maggio.
Go Roof is proud to serve the Baton Rouge and surrounding areas with our years of experience and quality service. We want more than just your roofing needs. Go Roof cares about the client and wants you to be our customer for life. Roof replacement, repair, vents, and more. Go Roof will get it done. We have excellent standing relationships with all the top insurance companies, so making your claim is fast and easy. A beautiful roof every single time at Go Roof. Call now for a free estimate.
Hi, I'm Drew Detlitz, and welcome to Camp Bow Wow.
We are Baton Rouge's premier doggy day camp, daycare, and behavioral training facility. Spanning over 14,000 square feet, your dog has plenty of room to play. We have covered yards that'll protect your dog from the sun and rain. We have a state-of-the-art HD monitoring system so you can watch your dog throughout the day. And don't forget, we also offer luxury suites.
So, stop in for a tour today, schedule your interview, and get your first day free. This is Camp Bow Wow, where a dog can truly be a dog.
Welcome back to Weekends with Whitney. Well, if you're ready to cozy up to a great new book in the new year, I have the perfect place. Cottonwood Books. It's one of the rare independent bookstores left.
Thank you much.
Thank you.
Good to see you again.
Yes. When Danny Plaisance took over Cottonwood Books, Ronald Reagan was president. Amazon was just a river. A first-class stamp was 20 cents, and the Grammy went to... For Danny, love has everything to do with Cottonwood.
I'm one of the lucky people again in that I love coming to work. No, I mean, I really do enjoy coming to work. Yeah.
It's great. Every day it's new and fresh.
I work 6 days a week, and I've been working 6 days a week for almost 30 years.
Surprisingly, Danny wasn't always a bookworm. Growing up, he was into athletics more than academics.
I did sports, and I was a decent athlete, and reading didn't come into being until I stopped sports. I went to UL to play baseball, and my dad died my first year, and I just kind of lost interest in sports, and that's when my academics took off.
The last 3 years of college, he worked in a bookstore and loved it, but didn't think of making it a career.
I got my degree in business, and I took a couple of jobs in outside sales, did extremely well financially, but I just didn't like it.
So he turned the page.
So I wanted to do something that I liked, and so Cottonwood became mine.
Cottonwood tells its own story about Baton Rouge, our state, our people. It's told along these shelves of rare books, bestsellers, old classics, hand-picked favorites, and local writers. It's told in the smell of ink, the feel of textured paper and decal edges, the sound of a story unfolding. Cottonwood is a book lover's dream. So what would you say your niche is? When people come in here, they say, I came because.
Well, I think the main niche is that I'm just unique. I've got so much stuff in here that you won't find anywhere else.
It doesn't feel like any place else either. One step through this door is like taking a step back in time. No clanging cash registers. Danny handwrites all of his ticket sales. No intrusive music. No hissing espresso machines. Cottonwood is a reader's bookstore. It's where relaxation, imagination, and inspiration saturate the air like an August afternoon. It's a rare find. That's why Meredith McMurdo, who lives in Washington State, makes it a part of her every trip to Baton Rouge.
The thing that amazes me is how he knows, the owner knows every book in here, where they are. If you say, I want to look at Clive Cussler, he knows exactly where he is. I think that's amazing to have this many books and know where they all are.
All 44,000 of them. It's the one place Meredith's daughter Christine can find nearly any book she needs and personalized service.
Independent bookstores are dropping by the wayside. So I was thrilled to find this one, and I like it that it's not so big.
Danny's prices aren't too big either. About 50% of his books are used. That cuts the price for customers in half.
And then I love it that they're used, because there are a lot of books that you really want to read, but you really don't want to pay the full price for it. But I like it that there are the new ones too.
Here you can even trade in your old books.
I mean, what do you do with books you've had forever? Unless they're, you know, from 1890. But I think it's wonderful to have something like this where you can bring in your old ones and get a whole bunch of new ones.
This is a recycling place. It's, you know, it's living green.
Yes.
Recycle your books.
Some recycled books can command big dollars, like these books, nearly 350 years old, from 1758, or this first edition of the Confederacy of Dunces.
There was only 3,000 of those printed back in 1981.
It's worth nearly $3,000. This signed copy of Huey Long's Every Man a King goes for $1,500. This signed copy of Long's book, My First Days in the White House, is even rarer and more valuable. You can buy a first edition copy of Anne Rice's Interview with a Vampire for about $350. But business has slowed the last 5 years in this age of Amazon, e-readers, and digital downloads.
The younger generation, the people in their 20s and 30s, and they think everything can be, and they're right, can be bought online. And people buy books online. I think that's the number one challenge for us.
For many, it's paper versus pixels. But Danny's booking on readers who still want to write in the margins, underline, and dog-ear pages. Readers who feel delight in that growing pile of pages on the left and that shrinking pile on the right. Readers who prefer paper over plasma. Readers who'll never bail on Cottonwood. If you'd like to check out Cottonwood, it's located on Perkins Road near the overpass. And if you're in that direction, right across the street, things are really juicy. In fact, it might help you have a healthier, more vibrant new year. This machine probably doesn't look like $25,000 to you, but many, like Heath Addison, say it can make you feel like $1 million.
It changed our life dramatically.
It changed it by getting more fruits and vegetables into his body. In getting more nutrients, it was easier for Heath to make healthier choices. In the process, he lost 100 pounds.
Within a couple of months, I was off one of my medications.
He credits the Big Squeezy's cold pressed juicer, which retains the vitamins, phytonutrients, and most importantly, live enzymes from the fruits and vegetables. Owner Kim Matsko says this machine can have your body working like a well-oiled machine in no time. So Kim graciously decided that she's going to show us how this is done.
We are going to cold press some juice.
In clothes you probably normally wouldn't do this in.
Correct.
Okay.
But I will wear my safety glasses and a hat. And gloves. All right.
So the magic of this cold press before we get started
Sure.
is the fact that it does not use heat.
Correct.
Keeps all the natural enzymes. Does it do anything else that's
Well, you're going to be
extraordinary?
amazed. You're going to be amazed. I'm going to put the produce that needs to be shredded through the hopper here, and it's going to come down into the bag. And then once everything's in the bag, we're going to add a few things that don't get shredded, and they're going to go through the press. It comes to 1,500 pounds of pressure.
Wow.
And by the time we're done, I mean, so many nutrients come out of the produce that even like animals would barely even want to eat the pulp afterwards. So it's that much stuff comes out.
Okay, so
you're
the
going to be pretty
shredding
amazing.
and then the pressing. Mm-hmm. Two processes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Only certain things need to be shredded. So, but a lot of stuff like the lemons and the pineapple that we're going to add for this particular recipe will just go through the press. Yep. Here we go. So we're going to turn this. Gets a little noisy.
Okay.
So we wait, so it's gonna go up, so it's like 60 miles an hour. Yeah.
Wow.
Can I look in there? You wanna? Yeah, you can. You wanna throw the apples in? Sure. There you go.
All of them?
Yeah. Wow. Yep. Now that you can throw it if you want.
I can throw it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Baseball season after all.
Okay, now we plunge it.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead. You can do it.
I never thought plunging
Push
would
it
be
in and
fun.
pull it out. Yeah. Pull it back out. Just keep. Yep. Just go like this. Pull it out. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Yeah.
Some in there.
Keep going. Good. That's okay.
Woo, got a bucket.
Is that it? No, that's all right.
More in there. I got
Good.
nervous.
All right, we're good. Okay. So now we're done with the shredding. So we're going to open up the bag. We're going to add in some pineapple. We're going to add some lemon.
Okay, you all do some serious chopping around here.
Morning prep is quite the production. And now we turn the press on. It's a big hydraulic press.
Oh.
So it's going to go up. Once it gets almost closed, it's going to go to 1,500 pounds. Yeah. So you can see all the fresh stuff coming out already.
There it comes.
It's getting filtered on the bottom. So sometimes the slower we go, we can get a little more out. You know, we want to get as many of the nutrients as we can. You don't want to put your hand in there. Definitely not. No. So you can see now the pressure's gone up. So it's just going to keep pressing in here. And that is it. So I'm going to turn this off.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Delicious.
Oh, that's good.
I already feel healthier.
You get 3 pounds of fruits and vegetables in every bottle. They also juice up smoothies, wheatgrass shots, and much more. Kim's business partner, Peyton Fisher, who used to head up the DHH Diabetes Obesity Prevention Program, says they opened the Big Squeezy to give people a quick, convenient, healthy choice in this fast-paced world.
Kind of putting a product where people can make a healthy choice where they're already living, they're already working, and they're already playing. So it's putting it right there, we just reach and grab it.
And their operation is about to get a whole lot bigger.
Actually gone into partnership with the LSU Agricultural School, their food incubator program. You know, working with them and their food scientists, so doing a lot of research together as well as hosting our production there.
We need a healthy, strong community. And we just wanted to create a place where people can make that choice. And this is it.
The Big Squeezy offers free tastings all day, every day. And now you can even find them in some select grocery stores. And coming up next, Dr. Nick. He tells us why communication is most importantly clarification, as Weekends with Whitney continues.
Go Roof is proud to serve the Baton Rouge and surrounding areas with our years of experience and quality service. We want more than just your roofing needs. Go Roof cares about the client and wants you to be our customer for life. Roof replacement, repair, vents, and more. Go Roof will get it done. We have excellent standing relationships with all the top insurance companies, so making your claim is fast and easy. A beautiful roof every shingle time at Go Roof. Call now for a free estimate.
Maggio, the only way to go. Maggio Buick GMC, your satisfaction's our specialty. We really deliver on Falls River, here in New Roads. Small town atmosphere, legendary service for over 60 years. Maggio, the only way to go. The only way to go, that's Maggio.
Welcome back to Weekends with Whitney. Well, a lot of us have made resolutions. Some of us have already broken them. But we're going to talk with Dr. Nick this morning about more than that, about really engaging and listening into the new year, not only to help those with us, but to help ourselves.
Yeah, it's great approach, Whitney. Great way of bringing it in. Communication. Let's talk about communication today.
So a lot of us, Nick, when we think of communicating, we think of talking. But you say more importantly, it's listening.
Listening, and let's go even further to add the real spice to it. It's understanding that everybody's language could be different, even when you're speaking the English language. Let me give you a quick story. I heard this years ago, loved it, Whitney. Americans go over to Arabia. Americans working with Arabs, okay? In the Arab culture, you get up right up to the face and talk. In the American culture, we like at least a yard, okay?
Yes.
So the Americans go over there and felt very offended by the Arabs going into the face, and guess what the Arabs felt? Very offended that the Americans were constantly backing up. Do you hear the clash? And that's why I say that to start by saying communication is most importantly about clarification. What am I saying? What am I not saying? And added to that, it's about the person listening staying in the chair and not thinking about what they're going to say before even listening to what's been said.
I'm so guilty of that.
So am I. Why do you think I said let's talk about it?
I want them to think I'm engaged, I'm with them, that kind of Me Too factor. You know, I get where you're coming from, and then we want to share our story when we really just need to shut up.
When we and really listen. Now, I want to make it clear to people, I think there are some people in our lives where we don't have to do that. Once you said to me, Nikki, we get each other. Now, you notice we don't sit around and say, all right, let me tell you now what I just heard. But there are a lot of instances when we need to say it, especially in marriages when there is a heated conversation or when there is a clash of values or when just a bad day. I mean, not even just in marriage, just in a bad day. It's let me get clear, what are you saying before I respond to it?
So
I just know
you
myself,
saying
I've
is-
said, and the other beauty about that, when I say to you, oh, Whitney, wait, let me give that back to you. This is what I just heard. You're also able to say, wow, Nikki, I didn't really mean it that way. Let me reword it. I was just heated. We really are helping each other learn how to find that common ground.
Right.
Instead of the swords up or, well, escalating. Well, let me get in this then. Or you've said this, it's my turn. And then you've got an escalated war.
We were recently
Your
talking
eyes
about-
are so wide. You get this. People, I know they get this.
Well, you and I were recently talking about some situations with me where some things were terribly miscommunicated, terribly misconstrued, misunderstood, and you're just
Yes. And remember what I said to you? I said it's almost like the Shakespearean tragedy. It wasn't intentional. It was just a clash of almost languages.
Yes.
And we think the English language is common. It's not. We all have different interpretations of a word. Right?
Absolutely, we do. Yeah, and with our children especially, I'm certain that regardless of their ages, it's important that we make sure they understand and listen, and then we hear what they're saying.
That's right.
So many times we
and
discount
again,
them.
we just make sure too that I say clarification because I think it's so important we can hear the emotional charge. And we really want to try to be clear, but we need the emotion, which is why I don't like texting. Because texting doesn't have tone, it doesn't have tonality. That's the struggle with texting, but that's a whole different segment.
Well, the tone that it has is whatever tone the person reading it has.
Whitney, I never thought of it. That's exactly the problem with it. I don't know how you're getting the text. I know how I'm sending it, but you could be reading it a completely different
And
way.
if I'm in a joyful mood, you may be trying to say something really serious, and I just blow it off as ha ha ha.
Or I might be joyfully sarcastic, and you're like, well, that wasn't very nice.
Right, and then I'm all offended, and yeah. And the same with
Communication
emails.
is great. I'm fascinated with communication. I think that is an incredible life skill that we need to all learn from early days on.
And you know, something that's helped me, and you've helped me get this, is so many times when we get sideways with somebody, I mean, maybe it's just the clerk at the store or the person behind you who's honking the horn. It's not about you.
It's great.
How many times do we think it's
great.
about us? It's not about us.
So
it's their junk.
And you're using a language too that's great when you talk sideways. I just want to make sure people understand that. Sideways, it basically means it's not about you. It's coming from somewhere else where it should have gone somewhere else. I really needed to say something at work today, and instead I come home and take it out on my wife. I mean, it's the perfect example. And the wife somehow has to sit back and say, okay, this is not about me. Let me figure out, honey, what are you really saying? What's really going on? Huh? You almost step out of the way.
Yeah.
But you almost have to step out like getting away from the dagger because it feels like it's a dagger.
Right.
And it hurts, and that's when we have to not personalize.
And don't you think that, I mean, I think that's a great question you just asked. what's really going on.
What's really going on. And Whitney, the sword goes down and that person starts reflecting, it's about me. And then they get back grounded in their body. We'll be right back.
Much more Weekends with Whitney right after this. Give the gift of fine dining this holiday season. Wayne Stabler Companies is offering 1 card for 4. The Little Village, Stab's Steak and Seafood, and their newest restaurant, Shucks. 4 sizzling restaurants, 1 card. Atlas Foundation Repair, fixing your foundation problems for more than 30 years while preserving and protecting your trees. Thanks for joining me for our first show of the new year. I wish you a year filled with joy, hope, courage, and opportunity, and a few fireworks thrown in for fun. Foundation Repair, fixing your foundation problems for more than 30 years while preserving and protecting your trees.
Studio 7 is redefining how Pilates is offered to the Baton Rouge community with top-of-the-line equipment, expert instructors, and classes offered every hour of the day till 8 p.m. at night. And it's not just Pilates that we offer. We offer intense cardio classes like Piloxing, Booty Bar, which is cardio and strengthening, and what we're most proud of is our circuit class. We call it Circuit 7. It was designed by Liz, incorporating the most diverse and important properties of a complete workout. It's the reformer, it's cardio, intense bursts of cardio. It's TRX on the suspension bands. She incorporates the bar. She works everything, and it's a game changer.